Hello, Mr. Bond. My face is lit up like a Christmas tree. Hey everyone, it's Chinbeard. Woo! If I look exhausted, it's because I am. But I did sleep in my own bed last night, which was pretty cool. I am fresh back from PAX East. I got in last night. My wife and I flew in from Boston. Got in kind of late in Seattle here. And I just wanted to kind of take a chance to reflect on what was a very exciting weekend. I had a lot of fun. I want to give you a rundown of how everything went and let you know what's going on. So, PAX East was awesome. It's so cool. The convention center there in Boston is really, really, really cool. It's way bigger than the one they have here in Seattle. You can be more spread out, a lot more room in the hallways and in between panels. And the expo hall, the main floor down there is much bigger. So, really cool. I had a panel, and I especially want to thank anyone who went to the panel because it was at the same time as Blizzard's big announcement, so I expected no one to show up. But a lot of people did show up, and they were a great audience, and you guys brought a lot of great questions and a lot of great enthusiasm. I especially want to thank my fellow panelists. I had Jessica Meriton and Holly Conrad. You might know them from their YouTube video thing they do called Try This at Home on the Nerdist channel. They were on the other side of the panel as me, and I had my brother Rob there, so I guess I should thank Rob. He did okay, I guess. So the panel was a lot of fun and a huge success, and I will definitely do something like that again at PAX East next year. Later on Friday, some other friends of mine did a panel as well, and that would be my friends at Cerberus Productions and Propped Up Creations. And I will put a link to their stuff down there so you can go check them out. But they did a much more heavy sort of subject as far as the content goes. A lot more technical stuff than my panel. Mine was called Con Costuming, a Survival Guide, and it was just sort of general information on costuming. They did a lot more stuff with chemicals and molding and casting and all that, and it was a lot to take in. But it was a lot of very good information. And they had a really good crowd too. They did some live demos, which was kind of ballsy, but they were successful, and that was a lot of fun. One aspect of PAX East that I like a lot that was something that they did last year is BioWare, and I'm a huge fan of BioWare. Obviously, I've done multiple costumes from BioWare video games. And they do a thing called BioWare Base. It's their own room where they just promote their stuff all the time. But they had like tiny events there, and they had a photo booth called the Danger Booth that was really neat. And I'll put a link to that down below. And they did stuff with their voice actors, stuff with their developers. They talked about the different video games. It was a really great sort of location for me to tell my buddies, hey, I'll meet you at the BioWare base in an hour, or I could just wander by and it was likely that I would run into a whole bunch of people that I already know. So BioWare base was pretty cool, and those guys are really nice and really fun to hang out with. Something else that was really cool that I started to sort of pick up on was hearing feedback from the crowd, about costumes particularly, and about costumes of people that I know. Because I'm getting to the point now, I go to so many conventions and I've met so many people that I have a lot of friends who are out there doing really cool costumes. But sort of paying attention to the crowd and hearing that feedback, like you'll hear someone go, hey, did you see Chandra? That was really cool. And I was like, that's my wife. That's really cool. Or someone was like, whoa, GLaDOS. Did you see there was an 8-foot tall GLaDOS? And I was like, I know that person too. Yay. Or Mega Man and Samus. Those were so rad. I'm like, that's my brother and his wife. It was cool to hear that feedback. Just sort of offhandedly from people in the crowd. That was neat. There was a lot of non-cosplayers really enthusiastic about the cosplayers that they saw at the show. The other thing about the cosplay that really had me jazzed, especially this past weekend at PAX East, was the sort of unbridled enthusiasm from cosplayers about the character they were playing and about the characters and costumes that other people were playing. There was a lot of mutual respect going back and forth. There was a lot of just enthusiasm. People really stoked to be there and to be sharing their love of these games that they enjoy. And there was a lot of compassion and generosity going around, especially the group of people, the group of costumers that I generally hang out with, and then the sort of orbiting newer people that get sucked in because like there was a sort of not a contest, but not really a contest for costumes at the BioWare base at one point. So there was a lot of people in costume there at the same time. You know, BioWare costumes and non-BioWare costumes alike. They were very open. They were giving stuff away. It was really cool. So a lot of generosity, a lot of compassion. Our friend who was GLaDOS she couldn't stay because she was wearing stilts and she was just, she had a rough go at it being in such a weird costume. But a lot of people were really excited about her costume, and the person who won the big prize in the contest just flat out gave her the prize. It was a little Morden bust. And if you don't know Wraith, she did an amazing Morden costume last year. So that was really cool to see that generosity and that sharing back and forth. That was just cool, and I don't see that in a lot of other places. That was neat. I'm really excited to start seeing a lot more costumes at PAX. It's still way overshadowed by Dragon Con or Comic Con. There's a much higher percentage of cosplayers at other conventions, but it's a personal goal of mine to get more and more people in costume at PAX and PAX East. So that's why I'm doing the panel and getting people involved and getting people started on it. And that's why I wrote the book, a beginner's guide to prop making sort of thing, so that people can take that first step and get into it. So yeah, PAX East was incredible and an overwhelming success, and I had a lot of fun. And I thank everyone who went to my panel, and I especially thank all of my friends who were there because everyone was so cool. The one other thing I want to talk about today is I made some daggers, and I'm going to get these painted up here pretty soon. These are daggers from an anime called Darker Than Black. I made a mold, so I have a bunch of these that I cast. And I tried something out. This is the first one that I cast. And I was worried about the blades being too brittle, like they might snap off. So I embedded some steel wire, some 12-gauge steel wire in these things. And you can actually see on this one a little bit of the steel poking out right there. And a weird thing happened. It's actually kind of bent, kind of curved. And I can't really fix that. So I went and tried and just cast one of them without any steel in it. I figured, why not? Just test out the resin. And lo and behold, this thing is super, super durable. It's not going to break. You shouldn't hit a person, but you could hit a person with this and it would not break. And this is just Smoothcast 300 with a little dye in it, a little So Strong. And yeah, good to go. So get these things painted up and send it off to the guy who ordered them. And then these blanks here I'll probably end up selling on my webpage because they are pretty cool, if I don't say so myself. Finally, before I get out of your hair here, I shot a bunch of video at PAX East. I shot 3 interviews. I probably shouldn't promise that they're all going to get done because there's a technical issue. But anyway, I shot a bunch of videos, some interviews with photographers and cosplayers that I know and got to meet there. And those should be coming up here in the next week or so, depending on how busy I am. Spoiler alert, I'm really busy. So look forward to that, and then stick around. So thank you for tuning in and listening to me ramble. I will see you all later.